Very cool. Alright, it's Jason here. So I have a day off work today, and it's actually my birthday. That's why I took the day off. And I stumbled upon a really interesting car not too far from my house. So I'm on the hunt for this car to check it out. It's something I really want to look at. It is a 1948 Plymouth Special Deluxe. And some would say the Special Deluxe of that year is one of the nicer cars you can buy in the 40s, related to quality, look, but more importantly, price. You know, if you look at the 40s, you know, people look at the Packards and some of those other cars, and they're super expensive. But this one looks like it's an attainable price, and it's a good way to get into cars of that era. And it's definitely one that you can take to some of these shows, like in Hershey and whatnot, and show it off. So I'm gonna go look at it. It's about, I guess you could say, 20 minutes. GPS is showing 20 minutes away, and I really am curious because it's priced very low compared to some of the other cars of that year on the internet. And I think it's simply because the gentleman that owns it is older, and his kids are trying to help him and sell it. So, you know, this is, if you think about what we were doing in the 40s, you know, 1948, World War II, cars were being produced, factories are producing things for the war, all kinds of cool stuff happening. And I just think it would be really cool to have a car of this era. So, of course, driving this L322, I need gas. So I'm going to swing in and get some gas. And once I get closer to the house, I'll pick the video back up. Alright, so just to pick up where I left off, I'm getting a little bit closer here. So as I was mentioning, you know, this is really one of the cars that are considered a great way to get into cars of the 40s from a pricing standpoint. And there wasn't a ton happening with Plymouth after the close of World War II. And as a result, this Special Deluxe year was pretty status quo to the ones that were built in 1944 and 45. Not a whole lot changed. They just produced the 47, 48 model year, because ultimately customers were lining up to buy what they had. So they didn't make a ton of changes to it. And the Special Deluxe was the top end of Plymouth's two-tier lineup during that year. It was a step up above the DeLuxe Six, and the Special Deluxes were identified by their lettering on the rear corner of the hood, which is kind of cool, and it has a really cool badge on the hood. And it included sun visors, a glove box, windshield wipers, wind vents, and a cool bumper. Fender guards existed on it. You know, outside of the base equipment, it had the all-weather ventilation. It also included front sway bars and coil springs. And it had a nice grill that kind of wrapped around the fenders, giving it that really cool stance. And the engine was the 217 six-cylinder. It was called an L-head six-cylinder, and it used a one-barrel carburetor. And from my understanding, it produced around 95 horsepower. But it has the cool door in the back that swings, where you can let, you know, your passenger in. It is cloth interior. It looks like it's original interior, unless it was done maybe in like the 70s or something, because it's definitely very dated. You know, dated as in, you know, older than 1970 or below. And it appears to be in pretty good shape. I don't like the tires on it, particularly they have like the white lettering on it. But let me go ahead and cut this off. I'm about 8 minutes or so away, I guess it is. And we'll take a peek at it, and I'll show you what it looks like when I get there. And alright, so I'm getting close to this guy's house. I'm just going to I'm only about, I guess, a mile away, and ultimately what I want to do is just take a peek at it and see the condition, and then I'm going to have to sort, is it something that I would actually want? All right, I'm pulling up to this gentleman's house here. It's a dead-end street, and I can already see the car right back there, so that's exactly where it's at. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, I guess I'll just pull into his driveway here, and then go take a peek at it. So let's see what we're dealing with, but you can see it right there.
Stuff like that to go in there and they chew on wires. For some reason they like to stop the wire.
Yeah, I have issues with mice occasionally.
Yeah. Well, they say to put cayenne pepper in. My Jeep right there, I had to replace the fuel ejector caps, like 3 of them because of that.
The pepper spray is the best, I think.
Good too.
Just buy it.
But it, you know, it's a car working. You just turn the key and then you got a push button.
Yeah, okay.
That's how the old car is. Just turn the key to the right and push the button.
Yeah. Very cool. All right, so I just finished looking at the 1948 Plymouth Special Deluxe and the history of this car. 15 years ago, this gentleman bought it and just wanted to drive around on the weekends with his wife, and they didn't really use it that much. And now he is selling it because they're downsizing and looking to move down towards the Carolinas. The car he purchased, he claims, was the original owner. I kind of find that a little hard to believe, but maybe he was, you know, it was a family or something like that. Overall, it is complete. He says that interior is the original, which is interesting. The trunk area, he recently spray painted everything in the trunk, and you could smell that spray paint and it almost still looked wet. Now, there's nothing wrong with painting or doing an undercoating, but it concerns me when you do it before people come look at a vehicle. I'm willing to bet there was a lot of rust in the trunk, and he's just trying to cover it up, which is okay. It's a 70-year-old car, but I like to know what exists before I hop into it. And on the driver's side, the floor panel was the previous owner evidently knocked out the floor because it was rusty and all rotten, and he just bolted a piece of sheet metal in. He didn't weld it in or anything like that. So I thought that was kind of interesting, because my concern would obviously be how much has rusted around it, which would make replacing it easy. But again, it's a 70-year-old car, so you don't want to be too nitpicky. It started up, it seemed to drive like it would drive okay. We let it run for a little bit. The paint wasn't in terrible shape. Obviously, at some point of its life, it had a respray because, you know, you could see where they had some overspray. And it's a cool car. He had somebody look at it, gave a pretty low offer. He has 3 more people coming to look at it today. I think a lot of folks are just kicking tires and not really serious. So I told him, you know, in the next couple of days, if you still have it and you aren't able to sell it, contact me and I'll give you an offer, because I didn't want to give him any indication of what I might be willing to pay. What I can say, though, it would need probably $5,000 worth of work to get it into condition and make a lot of money. If I was to buy it in the current condition and put a little bit of money into it, I might be able to make a quick $2,000 or $3,000, but definitely not going to be able to make $5 or $6 grand relatively easier. I'm not trying to be greedy, I'm just trying to be realistic. So we'll see what he comes back with. I expect him to probably give me a jingle and say he still has it. And if so, I'll sharpen my pencil with him and see if I can't get a really good deal on this 1948 Plymouth Special Deluxe, clean it up a little bit, fix some of the things that need to be fixed that are easy, and drive it maybe over the summer and sell it in the fall. This is Jason. Again, check out my blog at jams.net. And I chase a lot of cars, and I buy a few, but oftentimes the hunt leads to me just not purchasing, because I'm a bit picky about what I purchase if it's outside of my typical area of expertise. Talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in.